What stories can a handful of old Kodachrome slides tell? It's the last thing I expected to be thinking on this trip to London. I was here to shoot live music, one of my all-time favourite bands, G-Love and Special Sauce. But before the gig, I stumbled across a little camera shop on Camden Market called Camera Hut. The shop was a little treasure trove, shelves stacked with old film cameras, lenses and boxes of forgotten memories like these slides. 6 slides for £1. How could I resist? I've never really been into buying old postcards or vintage photographs, but something about that box of slides caught my attention. I started rummaging through, picking out slides and holding them up to the light to see what was on them, and I picked out 6 that sparked my curiosity. But to uncover their stories and bring them to life, I knew I needed to bring them home, scan them, import them into Lightroom, maybe do a little bit of editing to see what was hidden in these tiny frames. Kodachrome was discontinued in 2009 after over 70 years of being one of the most iconic film stocks, so who knows when these images were taken. They could be decades old. Who knows where they were taken, what camera was used to take these images, who the photographer was, and why that photographer felt that these moments were so important that they would be captured on these slides forever. That's the mystery that got me excited. And today I'm going to bring these forgotten memories back to life. To scan the slides, I've set up my copy stand with my Sony A7III and the Sony f2.8 50mm macro lens. I'll also be using a Kodak lightbox and the essential film holder. After my first attempt at scanning these slides, I saw just how dusty they were. They could have been sat in that box on Camden Market for years, and who knows where else and how else they were stored before that. But I already began to love the colours, and I started thinking about the stories that were hidden inside these images. So I'm going to give them a dust off, clean off any fingerprints and scan them again. Who is the lady in red? On the side of the slide, written in pencil, is the name Peterlee, which could refer to the town in County Durham. The slide also has a date stamp in the top corner, August 1970. The next slide shows a family sat on a wall looking upwards towards a winding path that leads off into the forest. Where does it go? Are they going to go on this adventure? This slide is dated June 1972. This image appears to be taken in what is signposted as the Boat Shop Kingston. There's no date on this slide, so it's hard to tell when this image was taken, but the 4-digit telephone number on the sign suggests that that sign was made pre-1960. Could this image of a boat in the harbour have been taken by the same person that took the photo inside the boat shop? There's a faint date on the side of the slide that stamps it at 1970, but I can't see what month it was taken. I absolutely love this image of a man smoking a cigarette while shoveling snow. The negative space created by the white and the diagonal line across the image remind me of a street photography composition, similar to what I'd look for myself. If you look closely, the man's jumper also has boats and a ship's steering wheel on his sleeve. This slide is dated January 1963. The final slide is of a coastal view, and I absolutely love the colours and the detail in this image. It was definitely taken on a fantastic camera for its time by a good photographer. There is a faint date stamp on the side of the image, but I can't make it out, so there's no way of telling when this image was taken. I thoroughly enjoyed exploring the stories hidden inside these tiny Kodachrome frames. It's been a great adventure, and I hope you've enjoyed coming on that adventure with me. If you recognise any of the places captured in these images, drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and if you could provide any more information about these photographs. I had an absolutely fantastic couple of days exploring Camden. If you'd like to check that out, and my photography of one of my favourite bands, G-Love and Special Sauce, and also some street photography that I did while I was down in London, check out my previous video. I'll put a link to it at the end of this one. If you love photography, whether that's film or digital, and you'd like to see more of my work, check out some of my older videos and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.